Good evening. The West Midlands has become the toughest place in the country for drivers who don't leave enough room for cyclists. Today, police carried out stings on motorists in Birmingham who broke the law while overtaking an undercover police officer on a bike.
West Midlands Police is the first force in the country to target motorists like this, but many drivers say it's not always possible to leave the 1.5 metres the law dictates. Chris Halpin reports.
These are near misses between cars and cyclists. But between 2010 and 2014, 445 others weren't so lucky. They were all killed or seriously injured by cars on Midlands roads. Now, West Midlands Police are getting tough on drivers who pass by cyclists within 1.5 metres, becoming the first force in the country to use undercover tactics.
Blue Vauxhall Safira, lane 1, Yankee Romeo 08.
What we do is we run an operation, so we'll have officers on the roadside who, once a vehicle comes by me too closely, then I'll radio them up and then they will stop the vehicles further on and then bring them to a stop sign. And
this is where those drivers today ended up, pulled over for a lesson on the law.
That cyclist is going to put himself round about on the tip of this arrow so he can safely go past there with the car's doors, with maybe a little bit more.
I didn't know that, so now I do, so next time I'll give him more room.
You give them space when you can, and you can't always do it, can you? It's going to be a hard one to enforce, isn't it?
We certainly need to do something because the traffic is horrendous and cyclists obviously are in more and more danger.
This 1.5 metre distance has in fact always been the law, but police feel it may have slipped among drivers because there's been no fear of being caught. However, they hope this campaign will change all that.
If they are caught, they've got 3 consequences. If they're lucky enough to be on a day like today, they'll have an immediate educational alternative if applicable to them. The second option is a conditional offer where they're fined £100 and given 3 points on the licence, or it's dealt with at the magistrates' court where they can receive a lot more points on the licence and a fine up to £1,000.
Cycling groups have welcomed this new approach, but some drivers in the city think it's too tough.
I think the points are a bit harsh, but definitely I think people do drive too close to cyclists, and if they can't pass they should hang back.
I wasn't aware that there was a hard and fast law about it, but I think it should be enforced because I'm a cyclist as well.
You can't always give them 1.5 metres, you know. I just tend to, in the lorry, pass cautiously, give them as much room as I can.
But as shown today, as much space as you can is not enough. The police clear. You're breaking the law. If you don't, watch this space. Chris Halpin, ITV News, Birmingham.
Well, this subject has certainly got you talking, and here are some of your comments. We'll start with Tony from Stafford, who emailed us to say, what about the cyclists who ride on the pavement, ride with no lights, jump red lights and ride the wrong way down the one-way streets, all of which are against the law?
This one from Noreen Stokes, who's from Stoke-on-Trent. She posted on our Facebook page telling us what a good idea. I just hope drivers take note and remember to leave the allowed space.
Anthony Moore from Birmingham says, I think it's the cyclists who need training how to use the road, as I'm a lorry driver and I see them all the time coming down the inside of me when I'm turning left.
Gail Walder told us before moaning so much about cyclists, some of you drivers should get on a bike and see just how close car drivers get to cyclists.
And finally, Kurt Dreslin from Wolverhampton said, how about teaching cyclists to obey red lights then and to not filter so close that they nearly take your mirrors off? Well, as you can imagine, that debate does continue on our Facebook page, and if you want to take part in our poll, then go to our website, itv.com/central, and thank you to those of you who've already taken part.
Other news in Canada.